Imagine a world where beauty hides a deadly secret, where moonlight itself breathes, listens, and remembers. Deep inside the heart of the Silverwood forest, untouched by human footsteps, lies the realm of the Moonlight Fairies, ethereal beings born from shimmering moonbeams. For centuries, their glow illuminated the darkest corners of the world. But behind their breathtaking beauty lies a truth far more tragic than any mortal legend. The Moonlight Fairies were once guardians of harmony, protectors of ancient magic woven into the roots of their enchanted forest. Their wings sparkled like liquid silver, their voices carried the purity of celestial wind. Under the guidance of Queen Lyriana the Radiant, the fairies lived in peace. Their nights were filled with dance, their days with healing, and their hearts with unbroken unity. But peace, like moonlight, can be fragile, and all it takes is one shadow to shape the destiny of an entire kingdom. The story begins on the night of the Crimson Comet, an event prophecies had whispered about for thousands of years. As the comet blazed across the sky, red as spilled fire, the fairies gathered at the Moonstone altar. They sensed an unfamiliar vibration beneath the ground, a deep hum echoing through the forest roots. Something ancient was awakening. Led by curiosity and courage, a group of young fairies approached the source of the vibration. That's when they discovered it. The first cursed relic, a small, dark locket buried beneath the moonfall tree. It pulsed as though alive, beating like a second heart. This was the Obsidian Locket, crafted from the fragment of a fallen star that had once been consumed by darkness. At first, the fairies believed it was a gift from the heavens. Its beauty was undeniable. The locket shimmered with swirling galaxies inside, each star dancing like captured fireflies. But within hours of its discovery, the first tragedy unfolded. The fairy who dared to open it, Seraphine, began to lose her glow. Not gradually, but instantly. Her wings dimmed, her voice cracked, and her connection to moonlight faded like dying embers. Seraphine wasn't just losing her magic. She was losing herself. Queen Lyriana ordered the locket sealed away, but the curse had already spread. Every fairy who had touched the locket, even accidentally, felt a strange hollowness growing inside. Whispered rumors filled the palace. Something darker than magic had entered their world. And yet, fate had more shadows to cast. Months after the Obsidian Locket was hidden, a second artifact revealed itself, the Echoing Lyre. It was found floating above the crystal lake, its strings vibrating without touch, producing melodies sweeter than fairy lullabies. The lyre was mesmerizing, hypnotic, irresistible. Many fairies believed it was calling to them, but when the first notes were played, reality cracked. The music didn't soothe. It manipulated. It dragged memories from the deepest chambers of the heart, twisting them into illusions so vivid that fairies mistook them for truth. Some saw lost loved ones who never existed. Some relived moments they wished to forget, and others fell into madness. A fairy named Elora followed the lyre's song into the forest, chasing a vision of her younger sister, long faded into moon dust. She believed the song could bring her back. But neither Elora nor the echo of her footsteps were ever seen again. All that remained was the sound of a faint melody drifting through the trees at night. The fairies soon understood that the artifacts were connected, but they did not know how many more existed. Years passed, and the fairies tried everything: moon rituals, ancient spells, pleas to the spirits who once protected them. Yet each attempt only strengthened the curses. Their wings dimmed, their magic flickered like dying lanterns, and the once radiant kingdom began to crumble under an invisible weight. Then came the third artifact, the most dangerous of them all, the Thorned Crown. It appeared inside the Moon Palace itself, lying upon the throne without explanation. Forged from midnight vines and silver thorns, the crown radiated an uneasy power. The moment Queen Lyriana placed it upon her head, her eyes glowed with fierce brilliance. She became stronger, wiser, but colder. Each day she wore the crown, she lost another piece of her heart. Power demanded sacrifice. The queen began isolating herself. She spoke less. She smiled never. And as her emotions faded, so did her ability to lead. The fairies argued, divided into factions, each blaming the other for the kingdom's decline. The unity that once defined them shattered like cracked moonstone. And through it all, the artifacts watched, waiting. Whispers spread of a fourth artifact, one even more powerful than the others. A relic said to hold the secret of both salvation and destruction, a relic capable of breaking every curse, or sealing the fate of the Moonlight Fairies forever. Leora, a young fairy born after the curses had already taken hold, believed the prophecy might be true. Unlike the others, she had never known a world full of pure moonlight. Her childhood was marked by flickering magic, dim skies, and stories of the golden past. She refused to accept that this was all her generation would inherit, guided by the faint memories of her grandmother. A survivor of the early curse, Leora began searching for clues. She wandered through abandoned ruins, ancient libraries, forgotten groves, and finally, beneath the roots of the moonfall tree, where the Obsidian Locket had first been found, she discovered a hidden chamber. The walls were covered with ancient carvings. They depicted the artifacts, but also something else, a final relic, a pure moon-forged artifact known as the Lunar Tear, the only relic untouched by curses. A gift from the moon goddess herself, meant to protect the fairies from cosmic shadows. But long ago, in their pride and curiosity, the fairies had sealed it away, believing they no longer needed external protection. Now, it was their only hope. With trembling hands and a heart full of determination, Leora journeyed into the forgotten depths of the moon caverns. The path was long, filled with illusions from the lyre, shadows from the locket, and whispers from the crown. But Leora pushed forward. At last, glowing like a drop of frozen moonlight, she found the Lunar Tear. The moment she touched it, a surge of pure energy pulsed through the kingdom. Light returned to the wings of the fairies. The illusions shattered. The Thorned Crown cracked and fell from the queen's head, freeing her from its grip. For the first time in centuries, the Moonlight Fairies felt warmth, not from the moon, but from hope. But the story doesn't end there. The curses haven't been completely broken. The artifacts still exist, still dangerous, still whispering. And somewhere in the shadows, a darker force watches, waiting for the next moment of weakness. So the question remains, will the Moonlight Fairies rise to reclaim their full glory, or will the cursed artifacts return someday to finish what they began? If you believe their world deserves salvation, tell me, what would you do with the cursed relics? Destroy them, hide them, or risk using their power? Subscribe to DKR Mystica for more stories like this.